Okay, so our next question is, should we Sabbath as Christians?
Yes.
Yes. Job done.
No. Should you have a day off a week as a Christian? Yes, you should have a day off every week as a Christian, because it's good for you to have a day off. And because God teaches us clearly in Scripture that we should rest, that rest is good. And that if you're overworking, often it's because you are not trusting in God.
Yeah.
So should we take time off as Christians? Of course we should. Should we ritualistically observe the Sabbath the way that Jewish people do? The answer to that question is no. So Paul writes to the Colossians in chapter 2, verse 16, "Therefore do not let anyone judge you by what you eat or drink, or with regard to a religious festival, a new moon celebration, or a Sabbath day. These are a shadow of things that were to come. The reality, however, is found in Jesus." So we believe that everything in the Bible is a foreshadow pointing to Jesus. Jesus is the culmination of all of these Old Testament laws and practices. Everything comes through him. And so Jesus becomes our Sabbath. We need to find our rest in him. Jesus says, "If anyone's weary and overburdened, come to me and I'll give you rest." Jesus becomes our rest, and it's through him that we will enter into our eternal rest, as the writer to the Hebrews says. So it's all because of Jesus that we can find rest. And so therefore, when we have the opportunity to take time out, we don't do it out of ritualistic religion, i.e. doing something to please God and earn his approval. We do it because we're in relationship with Jesus. We live under grace and not under law, and we can enjoy what God's made. We can enjoy time together. And there's a brilliant book on this by Walter Brueggemann called Sabbath as Resistance. And he says that as Christians, one of the ways that we can push back against the society's kind of understanding of the need to keep working and working and working is by taking rest. And actually, it's a God-given thing that we need to have. But we don't do it, again, because it's a ritual, because we must do it. We do it because we follow Jesus and he teaches us a different way of living. And so there's that distinction there. But yes, should we take a day off every week? I think we should, yeah.
Yeah, and I love the fact that actually, this is something that God has already given to us as a pattern. Like, I feel like the world's often catching up with it. Like, if I look at my social media, there's always this thing about taking rest and being kind to yourself and doing things that fulfill you. And, part of that is being with your family. Part of that is doing something creative, maybe, if that's how you're wired. All those wonderful things that you can do that build you up. And social media tells you that. And I just laugh because I'm like, no, God told us that first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be kind to yourself. That's the message at the moment, isn't it? Be kind to yourself. Yeah, and actually, we just want to follow Jesus, who is kind to us.
Yes. And part of that being given us rest. That's what that is. That is part of his kindness to us. And I think that is something that's massively, I loved what you said about that being a witness to like a world that is just all about the hustle and kind of distraction and everything like that. Like having time that's carved out just to be at rest with God, with people, is such a witness, and it's so profound. I think it would really jar people. I think if we were doing this well, if like as a people we were doing this well, I think it would be really jarring. I think there'd be something really, really countercultural about that, of us just having that day with resting with God and with other people.
Right.